thing that I think about the pricing with the Switch 2 as well as Mario Kart, all of the stuff is the launch title, the whole launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 in general. There isn't this like huge, like giant list of games coming out. They're remastering a lot of games, which is nice, right? Games that we want them to not remaster, sorry. They're upgrading the things that is going on, in certain games, right? They're going to perform better, whatever it may be. Not remaster. I take that back, not remaster. In some games that I've been wanting to play, but people have said, hey, a little warning, the performance is tough on the Switch 1. I'm excited because those games are getting it, right? Such as Echoes of Wisdom or stuff like that. What's nice, though, is because a lot of the Switch 2 has to do with just upfront, performance upgrades to older games, people who feel like the price point's a little high for them to get involved in the Switch 2, or the game offerings aren't exactly drawing them into upgrading their hardware, this is really good. This is really good because they're like, well, I'm not going to be missing out up front. I see you, Rad Dad. Thanks for the sub. And I think for me, that's a nice thing, right? That the FOMO thing in tech seems to be the biggest issue. Oh, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. And them just having one big, huge launch title off rip and then an additional one a month later with Donkey Kong. At least that we know. We don't know exactly if there's going to be a shift in in the whole game. We don't know. We don't know if they're going to like shift it and change it up. But with Mario Kart, it seems like there's a lot of content based on that direct. Nothing new that we didn't really know, but a lot nonetheless. With Mario Kart being kind of the only big thing coming with that, people can wait. The price point's high. People are feeling it economically. They're feeling like there's issues with their purchasing. And so they're like, I don't know if I can justify a $500 purchase off rip, let alone, potentially a $630 purchase if I'm additionally adding a Pro 2 controller, as well as the camera, if that's something you're into, or even going higher by getting cases and additional things. And so for people, they're like, I'm just gonna have to save. I'm not ready to buy. And they have time, great people in the community, right? Historical Radish is like, I'm going to wait. And that's good. I think that's fine, right? Is that good for Nintendo? Probably not, right? Probably not. I don't know. Like they're not, but I don't think that this console as it releases is going to struggle. I think that a lot of people are still going to buy it. I think that the loud hatred towards Nintendo's whole situation, I think that that's going to die out too. But as a whole, like we're seeing that the pricing and the offerings for some people don't match. And we're going to see responsible people go, I'm not going to hate it and buy it. Instead, I am going to look at it as a value proposition that isn't quite matching my specific financial situation. And so in that regard, I'm not going to go and get the Switch 2 off rip. I'm going to wait till there's a little bit more for me to actually get into. Maybe they don't have enough information. Maybe they don't quite understand why the price point is where it's at and they just don't see it. They're not, based on the information they're getting, it's not enough for them to be like, yeah, I don't see Mario Kart at 80. I don't see Nintendo Switch 2 at 450. Hardware wise, I don't see it. Gives them time. And maybe they'll go, you know what? Maybe this just isn't my generation. Maybe I'm going to stick with my old product. Maybe I'm going to stick with the last generation product, or which was really like 2 generations old at this point. Maybe I'm going to, travel across over to the portable PC space. There's a lot up in limbo right now. And I don't think that for us as gamers, that's bad, right? I think for us as gamers, that's actually good. Introspective thinking, understanding what's going on, understanding, hey, where am I going to go? I think that's good. It's good. It's every once in a while for you in your hobby to get a little reality check, to be like, oh, okay, what am I doing here? That's good. It creates a little bit more involvement, a little bit more like, staying there. I think that it makes it so that you're not out of touch, right? And so for me, as someone who enjoys Nintendo products, I am very looking forward to what they have offering with the Switch 2, because games that I haven't yet either completed or started are receiving an update to the graphics and the resolution, so I'm going to be able to play them more stable. Games that I'm looking forward to, Mario Kart World, I'm very much so looking forward. It looks like it's going to shape up to be one of the best Mario Kart games that I've played. Very much so looking forward to that. Games like Donkey Kong Odyssey, which I know it's Bonanza, but Donkey Kong Odyssey, very much so looking forward to that. A lot of these things, very much so looking forward to it. Being able to play games with my family, my daughter, who is currently playing through Mario Kart 8 and loving it with the, all the stuff. It's going to be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. My wife, and, all these people. Like, it's gonna be really, really cool and a fun experience inside of my home. But I'm also gonna be honest with you. Like, I know that is a specific case. I know that other people don't have that same experience. I know there are people right now that are individual gamers. They don't have families. They don't have people in their home specifically who are looking to play some of the titles that are going to be released with the Nintendo Switch 2 off rip. I know that, right? Kirby and the Forgotten Lands has a 2-player mode with a Waddle Dee. Some people don't care about that. I do, right? I have a 4.5-year-old daughter who is going to love that. We already play Super Mario Brothers 3D World, or Mario 3D World, as a family. My daughter and I, she plays as Peach, I play as Mario. We have a good time. That game's getting an update. Like, that's going to be nice. That's going to be nice. We already do this. And for me as a father, I look at this and I go, oh, my library I already have of games that are already great is going to receive performance updates that are going to allow me to share those experiences I had individually when I didn't have children with now my child, or when I did have children and she wasn't old enough to play with my child. Like, these are really, really great things for me going into this next generation. But I totally and fully understand the individual who's like, I don't have that. I just like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and some of these games, and this thing is too much money for me right now, and they're just not giving me enough to pull me in. They're not giving me that Ratchet and Clank launch. They're not giving me that, big, huge drop, that huge, big draw to the device. I don't see it. And I am not gonna look at you and be like, well, how can't you see it? I totally understand. What I am gonna say is that there are also plenty of people that look at this and be like, this is going to be a really good experience for me and my fill in the blank, or maybe just me as a person, right? And I'm very excited for that, because I am that person. I am the person who has a lot of things externally that feed into the Nintendo Switch 2 as a device that are going to make that specific experience that the Nintendo Switch 2 can give me spectacular, right? Family, friends who are extremely excited about it. Also, I'm a fan of Nintendo, so it does feed into my ness, right? I am a very big fan of Nintendo, so to be a part of the launch, to be a part of that is exciting for me nonetheless. I am looking forward to that, right? That is fun. That is fun for me. I am going to be able to enjoy that game with others, with you guys, whoever gets it, and play it on stream, multiple, that's going to be fun. I mean, if there's something that Nintendo is able to capture, it is the whimsical funness of it all. The price point may not be whimsical and fun for some people. And again, as I said at the beginning, it's a waiting game. Maybe this is a down the line purchase. Maybe this is a never purchase. That's possible. That's possible. But as I see it, with all the information I was given with this Direct, the Mario Kart 8 Direct, it didn't tell me much more than I already knew, but somehow in the fact that it was reiterating what it said, it somehow was able to capture me and make me more excited for what's to come. So, I mean, how do you feel about it? Let me know, Let me know.